One of the best Southern comfort foods you can get is chicken fried steak or country fried steak. I'll tell you the difference in a little bit. But basically every Southern diner and every Southern grandmother makes this. And if you walk into a diner down south, even though you're probably not going to order their chicken fried steak or country fried steak, I know I wouldn't, but if they don't have it on the menu, you better run the other way. So the traditional way to make it is with flour, egg, buttermilk, and of course the cube steak. You've heard of cube steak, right? If not, I'm gonna tell you about it in just a minute. So I need to come up with a way to make it without flour, egg, and buttermilk. So let me think about that for a minute. Got it. Okay, I'm gonna show you how to make it right after this. So I know you're wondering what's the difference in country fried steak and chicken fried steak. Crazy as it sounds, it all comes down to the gravy. The country fried steak has a brown gravy, chicken fried steak has a white gravy, and I've got recipes for both. I'll link them up above and down in the description so you can check them out. So if you haven't heard of cube steak, basically what it is they take the top round or the top sirloin and they beat it with one of these. Oh, not this one. They beat it with one of these that's got the little, if you can see that, it's got the little imprints in there. It makes cubes. It makes cubes in the meat. Now you can do your own, of course. If you really need to take some aggression out, just put some of that top sirloin, cut it as thin as you can, put it between two sheets of plastic, and just beat the crap out of it. But if you don't have any aggression to take out, I would highly recommend buying it in the grocery store, because I kind of feel the same way about cube steak as I feel about hunting. The way I feel about hunting is as long as there's meat in the grocery store, there's no need for me to go out at 4 o'clock in the morning, sit up in a stand in the trees, and try to stay quiet. I can barely stay quiet for 5 seconds, let alone 5-6 hours trying to wait and see if something walks through the woods so I can shoot and probably miss it anyway. Anyway, just go back to your butcher section in your grocery store. It's already cubed, it's already flattened out. Get you a few pieces of meat depending on how many people you're feeding, and oh, what's that? Oh, they said I need to add a disclaimer in right here. Sorry, hang tight.
Warning, warning, the ketogenic diet may cause weight loss of conditions such as diabetes, gout, skin tags, metabolic syndrome, depression, anxiety, and a whole host of other health conditions that they tell you that you need pills for. Please use caution and proceed at your own risk or under the advisement of a healthcare professional or someone else that does not have your best interest in mind.
Okay, so back to what I was saying. Just pick up a few pieces of that cube steak at the grocery store, depending on how many people you're feeding. Meet me right back here. I'm going to show you what else you need to put together this country fried steak or chicken fried steak. See you in a second. So let me show you all the ingredients you're going to need to make this keto country fried steak or chicken fried steak. The difference is in the gravy. The first thing you're going to need is this beef cube steak, and I got 4 of these, so it's about 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds. You're going to need some of this pork panko, and if you haven't seen my video on that, I'll leave a card up in the corner so you can see the easiest way that I've found to make it. You're going to need some almond flour, and I know some of you may not do almond flour. If not, this may not be the recipe for you. You may find something that you could substitute it for, but I doubt it. You're going to need a pink Himalayan sea salt, or Redmond's, either way. And you're going to need some pepper, and I prefer the fresh cracked pepper myself. So I got my pepper mill there, and I'm going to crack it, and then I'll use it. You're going to need 2 eggs. Local pasture raised is the best. Now let's get into our spice lineup, because you got to have some spice in your life. Baking powder, not a spice, but you need it. Some baking soda, definitely got to have that. Some smoked paprika. If you don't have it, you could use the regular, but I wouldn't. You need some garlic powder. You're going to need some onion powder. And then, one of my favorite ingredients, this chipotle pepper Tabasco sauce. Now you can use any kind of hot sauce that you like, but I'm telling you, it'd be worth buying because that gives it a really great flavor. You're going to need a really good olive oil. This is the one that I get at Sam's Club. It's 100% Italian. Just try to get one from a single source if you can. That way you know you're really getting olive oil. If you don't have any olive oil, you could use avocado oil as well, but I wouldn't. So let's get all these ingredients measured out and let's start cooking. So to put your breading together, you're just going to combine the pork panko and the almond flour together. in a dish that's deep enough to put the steaks in. We're going to go ahead and put in our seasonings now. I just mixed them all together, and then we're going to combine them together until we get a uniform breading. Kinda. Not breading. Bad word. Coating. A coating. Next, we're going to need something so the steak will stick to that coating. 1 egg, 2 eggs, and one thing that I forgot to put in the list of ingredients earlier, but you're going to need some almond milk, or you could use heavy cream and a little bit of water. I think almond milk works out great. So that'll enable the steak to stick to the coating. And then you just go in with however much of your hot sauce you want in there. It's really a matter of personal preference. And man, that thing comes out slow. I should have took off the little cap and just poured it all in myself. And now you got to beat it up proper. Get that all incorporated so that we can dip the steaks into it and then into the breading. Coating. Either way, you know what I mean. It's not bread. We're not doing bread here. And now we're going to take these nice cube steaks and we got to season them. So with this, I just used a little bit of salt and pepper. You can use whatever you want. If you want to put something different on there, you certainly can. But to me, nothing brings out the flavor of a great steak like some good old salt and pepper. Plus, that's a traditional Southern way to do it. So why not? So if you like this country fried steak video and you want to see more like it, hit that subscribe button that lit up down there for you, and you'll know next time I upload another video. And this channel is called Southern Keto, right? Okay, so now it's time to... Can I just call this breading? Is everybody okay if I just call this breading? Leave me a comment down there and let me know what you think. If not, I'll try my best to figure out a different thing to say, but I've always called it breading. I'm about to bread these cube steaks, so I'm going to dip it first in the breading. I'm going to get it all on there really good. Now you can dip it in the egg wash first if you want to, but I like to get it a little bit on there because I've got some baking powder in there that's going to help dry it out just a little more. So then I'll dip it in my egg wash and I will go back in to the breading. Make sure you get them coated really good and nice, and then just lay them out to the side and work on the next one. I'm going to speed this up just a little bit for you, and I'm going to give you some sweet breading music while I do these. Now after those are all breaded, I just want to let them hang out for just a little bit to dry out just a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and take my oil, put it in the pan, and I'm going to let it start heating up just a little bit because we're going to fry these babies up. Yeah, I just need a little more. That was olive oil. I'm going to turn it on a medium heat and start these heating up. Medium high. Okay, why not? If it gets a little too hot, we'll turn it down a little bit. Now by now you probably know my trick of what to do to make sure your oil is ready to go. So I'm going to throw a little bit of water in there, and when it starts to bubble like that, it's ready to fry. So I'm just going to lay these steaks in there. You always want to lay them away from you just so you don't splash anything up on yourself. And make sure you don't crowd the pan. You only want a couple of these in so they'll fry up proper. Now can we all just take one moment for a sound that I think we all agree is one of the best sounds that you can ever hear? So after the edges are brown on one side, just take it and flip it over Now some of this breading is going to come off, and maybe I should have left that in a little bit longer, but guess what? I'm going to flip it again in a little bit, and it's going to come out just fine. Man, these things are looking good. Now I'm going to go ahead and flip them over again because that top, I didn't quite leave it down long enough. And guess what? When you're really cooking, things like that are going to happen. But once it's done, you just take it out, put it on a paper towel, and just let some of that grease drain off of it. Not that it's a bad thing. You just want them to crisp up a little bit. And so by doing that, they're going to be nice and crispy for you. Man, that is popping out of control. I better get these other ones in here. Let's cook these, and I'll be right back. Man, when these are done, it is time to eat, and these things are going to be good. Let's go ahead and plate them up here. Put one piece of my nice steak down there. And then depending on if you're having country fried steak or chicken fried steak, you got to go in with some gravy. Oh man, this is going to be good eating. So if you're making the country fried steak, I'm going to put this brown gravy recipe right over here. That's what you need to top that with. And if you're making chicken fried steak, I'll put that video at the end for you to check out. Thank y'all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.